Hello and welcome to another episode of the Indie Sports Show. Smiso Msomi back again, here to dissect with you all the intrigues of local football. Obviously, this week we had continental competition as well. Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs in action in CAF competition, whilst others actually kept it going in the Betway Premiership. Champions Mamelodi Sundowns back on top again. Durban City and Gavin Hunt continue to work wonders in Chatsworth. Um, Orbit College in trouble. The likes of Magesi as well, worries there. But yeah, just sit back and let's dissect that for a couple of minutes. Well, first up, let's start in Soweto. The black side of Soweto. Obviously, Orlando Pirates, seemingly a routine win over the current champions of Lesotho, Lioli FC, in their second leg of the CAF preliminary round. In the first round of the CAF Champions League. They through to the second round of the preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League now. So it's not the group stages, but the second round where the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns will also be in action. So, I mean, what can you say that you haven't already said about Orlando Pirates and this tie? I watched the game, the type of goals that Pirates scored. I mean, you have to give credit to Pirates because they had to go out there and actually get it done as well. But the quality of goals that were scored there, it just seemed as if, Pirates were too much for Lioli. A couple of blunders from the keeper, a couple of blunders from the defenders as well. I think maybe the one impressive goal that they scored was the one that of Umbutum. I think it was the first one where Nemdajela actually plays a low cross after a finely worked move. That's the kind of goals that you're used to seeing from Pirates. Not blunders, not, poorly positioned goalkeepers, but you have to give credit to Pirates as well. They went out there, completed the tie, 7-0 overall over 2 legs after, of course, they won 3-0 away and 4-0 yesterday. So we have to give it to Pirates. I think if there's one talking point that relates to Pirates, it has to do with one of their players, Tsepang Moremi. Coach Abdeslam Wadu has a problem there. I think when Moremi arrived at Pirates, no one expected him to have such a huge impact, let alone get the numbers that he's actually getting at the moment and have to deliver, or rather deliver in the consistency that is delivering now, which is why when the season started he wasn't really a starter. I don't think he still is a starter, and that's actually getting to the point of my question, in terms of when does he become a starter now, because in that Pirates front line normally you would see either Evidence or Tejo or Rele out left, or Apolis out left, or you'd see Apolis on the right, or Sibelebele on the right. But now it seems as if Coach Radu has another problem in Tsepang Moremi. Of course, came on and was the cup final hero in the MTN8 final, got 2 goals, got an assist. He was that guy. I think he's growing into the Pirates role. I think no one expected him to sort of hit the ground running the way that he has done, and it only begs the question now that with the likes of Rele seemingly struggling, Maswangani struggling as well, Sibelebele started the season well, but is he getting the kind of numbers that Moremi is getting as well? Whilst Moremi is also getting Bafana call-ups as well, which is testament to the kind of form that is shown not only at Pirates but at Amazulu last season as well. So it only begs the question, when does Coach Wadu eventually see Moremi actually becoming a starter in his team, or maybe one of the mainstays as well? Because if you're going to base it on form, then he's the guy. Obviously, we know that's not the only things that coaches consider when they're doing the starting 11. There has to be a period of consistency over time. There has to be a reliability about you. But I think Moremi has shown enough to be able to go knock on the coach's office one of these days and say, hey, coach, I'm currently up there. I'm one of the best at the moment in the league. And when am I getting my chance? So, I think that's one big positive for Pirates, just getting another outlet just to take the weight off Rele, who's, Rele is a youngster, but the pressure that's being put on him, I guess, is just a result of everything that he's done in the past 2 seasons, and he can't complain about it. If you're that good, I don't think you complain about it. Actually, you're just purely a victim of your success, and really has shown us over the past few seasons that he's that guy as well. But he's still only 20, so just for him to ease the pressure and sort of get someone else doing the job while he tries to find his feet again and becomes the important cog in Coach Wadu's team. So I think, yeah, the arrival of Tsepang Moremi will also facilitate that process. But yeah, I think Pirates, of course, a dominant display against Leoli. What else can you say that hasn't already been said about Pirates? Of course, the coach also got an opportunity to field players that haven't got time to actually play in the past 2 months. We saw even the goalkeeper Melu Sibtele is actually get game time. So it was that kind of routine. It had a preseason feeling about it. So yeah, Pirates get the job done. They're in the second round of the CAF Champions League preliminary round. Yeah, and we'll find out the opponent soon. On the other side of Soweto, it wasn't so routine. It wasn't as straightforward. Even though it was actually very, very positive in terms of a performance, in terms of a fight, in terms of a grit point of view, but it wasn't as routine. Of course, Kaizer Chiefs came into that game having suffered a 1-0 defeat the previous week in Angola against Cabo Scope. Cabo Scope were always going to be a very, very physical team. I think Chiefs overall obviously probably have more quality than Cabo Scope, and Cabo Scope understood that, which is why it was important for them to get an advantage at home before coming to South Africa. But then by the time they came to the FNB Stadium, I think Chiefs had already figured them out, even though they didn't execute that fully on the field. But I think Chiefs just had a good idea of how they would beat Cabo Scope. The fact that the game went to penalties, I think, should be one of two ways. It could be a worry in the sense that Chiefs created in the first half. I think they created about 5 chances that they should have put away. You look at the chances from Du, you look at the chance of Lilepo, you look at the chance of Modi. I think Dupree also had a chance as well. So you look at those chances even before Lilepo actually gets the goal for them. I think you look at that and think you create that many chances and you only score one. For a team that's just trying to get back into the early momentum that they created at the start of the season. I think scoring those goals and getting someone clinical. You look at the people that are sitting in the sidelines as well. You look at Mayo, who scored his first goal already. You look at Igotaro, who's waiting for his debut. Those are the kind of people I think Chiefs are going to be itching to get into the team as soon as possible. Proven finishes in the final third. So that's the first angle that you look at. So many chances but wasted. But also for a Chiefs side that barely created nothing in the first leg against the same team, that was a positive performance. They came out fighting. They came out playing high intensity football. They put the Angolans under pressure, and I think reaped the rewards at the right time, because when you saw that goal go in the first half, you're already thinking they get the first one in the first half. They get the right confidence up. They go into the halftime break. They come in second half again. They build on that, and they get the second one. They get the third one, and that's just how the game seemed as if it would go in the first half, but it didn't. For some reason, it didn't. The Angolas came out fighting in the second half. So many breaks in between. So many fights. I think it only suited their style, and I think they understood that if they tried to go pound for pound with Chiefs in Chiefs' home ground, then they would probably get destroyed like they did in the first half. But I mean, fair play to them. They understood game dynamics. They understood the direction that they needed to take the game, and they messed it up really, really well to take it all the way to the penalties. Of course, the penalties are always a lottery, but then again, if you're Chiefs, you're looking at the likes of Brendan Peterson, of course, saved a penalty and also made, I think, two big saves during the 90 minutes as well. You look at him. There's been a divided opinion about Sibongiseni Mthethwa in the public domain. A lot of people love him. Of course, he's become one of those mainstay players for Kaizer Chiefs in the early parts of the season. I think he started all but one of their games so far. So I think the coaches trust him. But obviously, as it always is with many other players in the division, there's a divided opinion amongst the Chiefs fans. Some people think, in as much as he helps the team break down play, in as much as he gives the team energy, but it doesn't progress the team. And it's almost as if you're going to be playing that position for a club the size of Chiefs, then you need to be better technically. You need to have both the skills to break down play, read play, make those interceptions. But when you do have ball possession, actually move the team forward and keep the ball ticking, you know? So those are the type of opinions that are coming up in the public domain. Personally, I think if you're Chiefs right now, like, they're just players that I think are good for a transition period, but not for a long-term solution. And I think Ox provides that. Ox provides, I think, the right cover at the moment for Chiefs to be able to make the transition from being a team that's outside of the top 8 into a top 3 team. But that last push, if they are to be a top 3 team or a team that eventually wins the league in the next 5 years, they can't play with Mthethwa at CDM. The level of quality, the level of technical ability, the level of positive play and enthusiasm on the ball and creativity and being able to see the right spaces and the right angles and composure at times, being able to understand that yes, you've just gone in for a very, very good tackle, a 50-50, and you've won it and the crowd is up on their feet, but now set your mind right, calm down and make the right pass and make the right forward pass as well. I think he doesn't have those sort of tools, and probably maybe Ecele would probably in the coming years be more molded into that role. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Kaizer Chiefs, I mean, they made hard work of it, but they did just enough. And now they are through to the second round of the preliminary rounds of the CAF Confederation Cup. And yeah, we're still to see their opponents as well. Yeah. So Chiefs and Pirates into the second round of the CAF competition. Now back on the home front, of course, defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns back to winning ways, as if we didn't expect it already. Yeah, I don't think in the past couple of seasons we've seen this many headlines, or we've seen Sundowns dominate headlines in not the most positive way in the past 10 years maybe, because I think at the start of seasons they've just always made it very clear that they were the team to beat, and they've went on to dominate the league. Maybe not so much cup competitions in the last 3-4 years, because Pirates have, you know, got their stamp on that, but I think Mamelodi Sundowns have shown in the past years that they are the team to beat. But this season there's a certain vulnerability about them. I think any team goes into a game against Mamelodi Sundowns this season feeling as if they could get something out of the game. I mean, the strategies haven't changed that much, except for if you're Pirates, because I think Pirates have been the only team that have gone pound for pound with them in the past 4 years maybe. I think Chiefs have also evolved under Coach Nabi. They've also tried to take on Sundowns, and they did the same this season as well. But I think more teams are going into games against Sundowns with a little bit more positivity, in hoping that they could get positive results. So, but yeah, Sundowns, after a shock defeat to Golden Arrows in Durban, they go on to blow off their steam on another KwaZulu-Natal outfit in Richards Bay. I think they wouldn't have chosen any other team to play after that defeat. They've played Richards Bay 6 times now. They've beat them 6 times and they've only conceded once in that period as well. So I think if you were to give Sundowns any team to play every day of the week, it's probably Richards Bay. So routine 4-1 win. Matthews gets a brace. Ikram Reyners gets a brace, I think. Back to the top of the Betway Premiership. Obviously, they've played more games. I think they've played 10 games now. And they've drawn 3 and lost 1. So that's the most interesting part about Mamelodi Sundowns this season. Because not that many people are used to seeing that kind of form with them, even in the early stages. So a lot of positives for Coach Miguel Cardozo, who's been under pressure, of course, for weeks. People still continue to question the fact that he's still Mamelodi Sundowns coach at the moment. Of course, we spoke to him when he was in Durban this week, or this past week rather, and he spoke about the fact that his team is still trying to gather up a head of steam because they've had such a short preseason, so they're using the first part of the season as a preseason, basically. So he says, eventually they will click and they will look like the Mamelodi Sundowns of old. I think Masandawana are eager to actually see when that happens. But I think the brightest prospect of Sundowns' win over Richards Bay this weekend was the showing of the eventual player of the match, Nuno Santos, Sundowns' new number 10. I don't know where they find them, but boy, they do find them. Of course, Coach Miguel Cardozo, midweek as well, we asked him about the fact that does he need to replace the influence of Lucas Ribeiro, who of course was football of the season last season, and he spoke about the fact that that's not what they're trying to do. Of course, Sundowns made 2 signings recently. One of them, Nuno Santos. The other one, Resino, was also announced later last week. So 2 players, Portuguese players that have been based in Europe for a majority of their careers, are coming into Sundowns now. Of course, we haven't gotten a glimpse of Resino, but we did see Nuno Santos. I think personally, I think the league is in trouble again. Nuno Santos just looks, obviously a very different profile to what Lucas Ribeiro provided Sundowns. I don't think he's going to get as many goals. I don't think he's going to get as many assists as Lucas Ribeiro has done in the past seasons, but he just looks a cut above the rest already. His technical ability, his understanding of the game, his body positioning, his body compositioning and orientation, like those are the finer details that we frequently see differentiates between good players and really, really good players. And after seeing him live against Golden Arrows, and then seeing him again play Richards Bay, it's no surprise to me that he got the Player of the Match award against Richards Bay. He's a fine player, and I think the league may be in trouble as soon as Mamelodi Sundowns find their feet again. But for now, over to the side of another man who had spent a large part of his time in Pretoria, Gavin Hunt, obviously now based in Durban, leading the charge of Durban City. Durban City actually came back to beat Magesi 3-1 at the Chatsworth Stadium on Saturday night as well. They went into the break 1-0 down. I think Wonderboy Makubu scored the goal for Magesi, and then Durban City come back. Samgelo Maseko scores the first as the equalizer. Makawana scores. Saziso Makawana, formerly with Golden Arrows, scores the second goal. And then Letsia Kouapeng gets his second goal in as many matches to actually seal the game. Gavin Hunt and his Durban City side up to 3rd on the Betway Premiership log. No one would have predicted that. I think in as much as many people saw Coach Gavin tried to assemble that side and probably thought they'd be able to compete, but I don't think anyone saw or thought that after 8 games they'd probably be in the top three, and that's where they are at the moment. Obviously, I think they've played 1 or 2 more games, more than the likes of Chiefs, than the likes of Pirates, who had continental competition, but still, I don't think many would have predicted that, especially the people that were starting to doubt the coaching capabilities of Coach Gavin. I at some point was critical of him. I think last season at SuperSport, and then I think before SuperSport it was Chipper. So I was one of those people, but it seems as if now he's finally found his groove back, and yeah, he's planning to do something special with Durban City, and they're a very entertaining team to watch in the most Gavin Hunt way possible that you know. But yeah, Durban City continue their fine work. Of course, Arrows thump Orbit College rather at the Kingsway 10 Stadium, building on from that win against Mamelodi Sundowns in midweek. Yeah, I think Golden Arrows, something brewing there as well. Coach Mangoba stating that he's not building a team that's going to survive relegation or a team that's playing to be in the top 8, but rather a team that he wants to compete for titles in the future. I think they're making good progress there, but their opposition, Orbit College, I think, yeah, big worries there. I think a lot of people may have applauded the club on rewarding the squad that helped the team get promoted, in the sense that they would be the ones that would play in the Betway Premiership as well. But the golf and quality, the golf and experience, I think it's showing when you look at, for example, a Durban City who have gotten about 8 or 10 players that already possessed top flight experience. Like, you can see the difference. Elementary mistakes, not just mistakes, but in terms of experience and understanding game moments, and also in terms of quality. They seem to be out of place. Yes, we all admire their style of play. We all love how they view the game, but yeah, there might be a cause for concern there, and perhaps they could turn it around. My case as well, under coach John Maduka. Many were surprised when the club let go of Owen Takama, of course, who helped them avoid relegation last season, and almost took them to a top 8 spot. But Coach John Maduka has found it hard to actually stamp his authority and get Makesi playing the way that he wants them and still get results. So Orbit and Makesi with a few worries there. Hopefully they can turn it around and we could see a really competitive league towards the end of the season. But for now, yeah, Pirates and Chiefs through, Sundowns back on top, Arrows up and firing, Durban City continue their fine work, Orbit and Makesi in trouble. Goodbye.